Everyone, it's Austin, and welcome back to another review of The Rising of the Shield Hero. And honestly, I'm going to just say in the beginning, I love this arc. I really do. This is one of my favorite arcs of the Rising of the Shield Hero series. I know there's a bunch of other ones, but this one is... I like Raphtalia's arc, and it's a very powerful arc, and I think a lot of people that in the beginning were very butthurt about the first episode and everything should probably watch this next couple episodes, and that's all I'm going to say. But nonetheless, let's get into this review. So we continue on from episode 13, with Malty burning down the forest to kind of get Nafumi, and we see Nafumi and the crew escape from the fire, and we hear about how the Knights closed off the borders to prevent Nafumi from getting to the other country, which, it is quite wise to do that. And Nafumi sees that he has to now meet with the Queen, and this kind of brings up, his only option, as he said. And we see a lot of demi-humans in the territory that he's in, and Melty knows of the noble that is in this, that reigns over, and basically he's very kind to demi-humans, and I'm going to call him nice guy. I know he's called not, and I'm going to call the good old, Raymir the horrible person. So that's your key for today. But nonetheless, so we kind of hear a little background about about the nobles that sided with nice guy, and they all were moved to remote areas of the kingdom because the king does not like demi-humans whatsoever, if you haven't picked that up yet. But we see the first wave is actually talked about, and this is the thing I keep telling people, and they keep calling me a liar. We already had the first wave. Raphtalia's village was ransacked in the first wave, and no heroes are there to save them, kind of thing. And we see her kind of talk about the first wave, and she said after the knights came and took all the demi-humans away from her village, and that's kind of how she got to where she was. And Melty starts to apologize and say, "Don't worry, you tell me the knights of who did it, and they'll be punished." And Melty's a quite mature person. I like her, honestly. And we see Nice Guy show up, and I know his name is Not. I'm going to call him Nice Guy because that's what I'm used to, so sorry. Not brings actually Nafumi to his house to chat, and we can see that Nice Guy is quite a nice guy, ironically, and Nafumi got blamed for the forest fire, which isn't surprising, and we see that the nice guy is actually very understanding to what is happening. He understands why, because Nafumi is the shield hero, and the king doesn't like demi-humans, and the shield hero is the symbol of hope for the demi-humans, kind of thing. Well, it is their champion, and we see that Nafumi doesn't trust the nice guy, and it's understandable. You meet someone that's a noble and you don't really know them, and I know people keep getting up in arms about that. I see on Facebook, "Oh, why is he such a horrible person?" I'm like, go through what he's gone through and you'll understand, kind of thing. But we see that Raphtalia ensures Nafumi that he can trust him, and I just really love. I want to talk about how Raphtalia is the only one that can get through to Nafumi, and it's actually brought up in this episode, and quite hilarious enough. I'm going through my notes, as you probably heard me click a couple times. I apologize for that, but it's really hilarious, I think, and it just shows their relationship and how close they are. But we see Nafumi wants to leave the next day, and it's quite understandable because he doesn't want to get caught, and he doesn't want to get the nobleman into trouble, or nice guy. And Melty has grown quite up mature-wise, that she acts differently than she was according to the nice guy, and the way I have to phrase that is so people don't take it out of context. I want to make sure people understand that. But we see basically Nafumi doesn't want to sleep so he can keep watch, and we see Raphtalia again says she'll keep watch, don't worry, and he accepts it, and I'm like, yeah. And Melty brings up, "Why do you listen to her all the time but not me?" And it's hilarious because it really shows how close Raphtalia and Nafumi are. They really need each other to thrive off each other, and it's going to play a bigger part at the end, as I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'll give you, that's a piece of information to think about. But we see that Raphtalia wants Nafumi to be nicer to Melty, and it is true that he is being a bit mean, but it's just kind of who Nafumi is, and it's one of those, I think he's doing it unintentionally, and we really never... I won't say anything, but we see that Melty is becoming more and more spoiled of how she acts, and she doesn't really think she likes herself that way. ever since she met Nafumi, and it's kind of hilarious because this is the kind of stuff you would see in a romance. Like, I've never been the real same person since I met this person, kind of thing. And we see Philo say that she loves Melty, and I'm just like, okay, my heart can almost take too much cuteness sometimes, but this is too far, okay? But Philo starts to tell Melty to get Nafumi to dote on her, and I'm just like, oh well. That's another one, and she's gonna play a big part at the end too. So, without spoiling much, so we actually get a cut to the King and Malty. We see the King wants Melty really back badly, and it just seems there's some kind of disconnect. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure that he knows, but he doesn't. As I said, I don't want to give you a straight answer and spoil stuff, to say the least. But we see the King hates the shield arrow, and from the phrase of "how much do you plan on taking from me, shield hero," and he's actually referring to the time when his sister. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm not going to go into too much detail. If you do want to know more, I could tell you through a comment. Just make sure you put spoilers. I can't stress enough. But we see that Mel thinks she's doing nothing, but Nafumi kind of reassures her and tells her that her life comes first before she's royalty, and that's kind of how he thinks. And it's kind of interesting thing to see the contrast between someone that kind of isn't royalty, that kind of can do what they want, versus someone that is royalty and they feel they have to do stuff. And I thought it was a very good contrast. But continuing on, we see that Raphtalia is having night terrors again, and we have this beautiful scene of Nafumi holding her hand to comfort her, and he feels bad for her because he realizes that she's having the same thing. And we actually get flashbacks to Raphtalia and her friends when they were enslaved, and it's just, this arc is going to be quite hard for some people, I know, and it's a very touching arc, to say the least. But we see that good old nice man, or nice guy, is getting taken away because he was accused of harboring Nafumi, which, it's not wrong. But, it's one of those, we can see why you're there. And we know the nobleman, which is Raymir. I'll call him Raymir to make it easy for you, some of you. But he is actually the one that enslaved Raphtalia. And she gets very angry and wants to attack him. But Nafumi kind of says, don't do it. You're going to ruin everything that, Melty has done for us, kind of thing. And we see that Raymir is trying to find the shield hero, and we hear about his past with the King. They're not always seen eye to eye, which is hilarious because they both hate demi-humans. And we see Melty is lying to protect Nafumi, and we see she gets taken away, and Raphtalia wants that man dead. And it's just like, I agree, he deserves to be dead. He is, honestly, I think he's, I don't know who I hate more, him or Malty. I'm still on the fence with that. But we see that Philo is hiding, and for the first time we actually really see Nafumi order one of his companions around with the slave crest, and it actually was quite hilarious because she was told to hide for hide and seek by Melty, and she's like, why did you do that? Because you weren't listening to me. It was a quite hilarious thing. But we see that Philo wants to save Melty now because of the whole fact that she found out about it, and Nafumi wants to save her too for the simple fact that she's never stopped believing in him, and he kind of feels obligated. And this is kind of where we're going to see him kind of start to develop a bit more. As I said, it's at a very nice pace in my opinion, because it's stuff like that doesn't happen overnight like some animes want it to be. But we get another flashback to when Raphtalia was taken away, and it's kind of building up to her arc, and it's quite interesting. And we kind of figure out that, well, Nafumi kind of figures out that Raymir is the guy that is one from Raphtalia's past, and demi-humans actually are starting to rush his gates to get, the nice guy back. And we see Raymir, he just hates demi-humans, and it's just almost on the level of the King. And we see that, the nice guy is lying to protect the shield hero, and he kind of does a, smart remark to the guy saying, oh, I only know of the shield hero, I don't know of the shield, the devil of the shield, whatever. And I thought that was quite hilarious, and he gets beaten up for info. And Raymir is also a part of the three-hero church that we heard about, and it's all coming together, and it's building up to the next arc. And we see that Nafumi actually invades, and we see that Raphtalia is fighting, and she's still having flashbacks of everything, because she's kind of she's facing her past at this point, where she is. And we see that she actually stops at the certain, staircase, and to give you a little background information, that's actually where, she was held when she was enslaved. there. And we see that Nafumi basically, he's a true anti-hero, and I respect it because he gets what he wants, and I always love the Punisher, honestly. And I don't know, people like to say, Goblin Slayer is the Punisher, but I'm like, yes, but no, not at the same time kind of thing. But I really like this anti-hero, but great freaking character, honestly. He's the best person I love this season, going into spring too still. But we see that Raymir loves torture because he wants to basically torture Melty, and we see Nafumi, bust in, and Raymir takes Melty as a hostage, and we see Nafumi actually rescue her because Philo ain't gonna let anything happen to her. That's her person. No, gotta fit in. We see that Raphtalia is actually now like walking towards Raymir, and he's like whipping her and everything, and it shows that she's become stronger. And that's the thing I want to get across, because I know people are gonna like, oh my gosh, she's taking the beating. No, she is facing her past, and she knows that he can't hurt her anymore, and she wants revenge for what's happened. And we see flashbacks of one of her friends, and we're gonna have someone, and I can't stress enough, every time I mention this character, people feel the need to spoil. You do spoil it again, I'm probably just gonna mute you from talking on the channel, because it's really annoying. Unless you put spoilers, I can understand, but people don't do that. Keel is showing up, and as I said, I can't stress enough, please do not spoil that stuff, because that stuff is really far ahead, and I don't want people to get very upset, because it's not fair at the same, unless they ask you, okay? But I had to tell a couple people the last time I talked about Keel, please keep it under wraps. But we see Keel's gonna show up soon too, and it's all gonna be a really great arc, and I honestly can't wait. I love this. This is, as I said, I really love this arc. I can't stress it enough. But what did you think of this episode? Did you think it was quite good? Do you think Raphtalia is progressed a lot as a character? Do you want me to do a video, kind of doing her character analysis again, how much she's progressed? It's up to you guys. But anyways, guys, do share this video, because we got to take over, covering the Shield Hero. We got to be the best Shield Hero community ever. All right, got it. I'm kidding, but hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will probably have another review, which is going to be tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, if I get time, or it's going to be the Wise Grandson. So if you want to watch that, that's coming next. But I'll see you Friday up for Shield Hero for the preview. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I will catch you later. This has been Austin, signing out. Peace.